Everybody enjoyed the strata that I made last week, so I thought, let's make it again and bring you guys along. So let's head to the kitchen and get it started. Okay, to get this recipe started, we're gonna start off with our cast iron skillet. Mine is a little bit small. It's between 12 and 13 inches. You'll want a 14-inch would be great. This is the biggest one that I have. Next, we're gonna go with some sausage. Today, I'm using our homegrown apple and onion pork sausage. I have some leftover filling, or some of you may call this stuffing. This herb seasoning that I get at a local natural store, it's got some dehydrated peppers and onions and seeds and all sorts of things in there. Here we have some onion that I've diced. That's about a half an onion. And then here I have about a cup and a half of locally made raw Colby cheese that I've shredded by hand. And then we're going to use a dozen eggs, and it was so nice to just go outside and collect these eggs. And we're also going to use a little bit of milk today. I'm going to use some almond milk. You can use whatever milk that you have on hand and that your family enjoys. So to get started, we're going to put a little bit of butter in our cast iron skillet because our pork is fairly lean. So I'm going to get some out of here, and this is grass-fed butter. We're going to put this in the pan, and you want your pan to be almost screaming hot. It works so much better that way. So we're going to melt the butter, and once that's melted, which doesn't take long, we're going to go ahead and add in our onions. And I just want to, doing this one-handed. I'm going to put in the rest of the onions. I had some sauteed onions left over from last night, and they kind of stuck to the bowl. So we're going to let those saute a little bit before we add the pork. And I have my heat on low. I'm going to turn this up to a little bit on medium. We're going to stir this around, letting those onions cook just a little bit until they they're already starting to become translucent. So once that happens, we want to add the pork. And our pork is backpacked, so see if I can do this one-handed. There we go. Just take it out of the package, and we're going to chop this up. And you want to cook this until it's no longer pink. And this is approximately, this is just under a pound of pork sausage. You can use whatever sausage you like. Hot Italian, sweet Italian, chorizo would be great in this dish. This is, again, like I said, this is our apple and onion. So we're just going to cook this until it is no longer pink. So once we're finished cooking, we're just about, and the pork is no longer pink, just going to chop up a few more of those really big pieces. We're going to go ahead and at this point add the filling or stuffing, whatever you like to call it. We're going to mix that in. Making sure there's a good ratio of pork to filling everywhere. Looks pretty good. And then we're going to go ahead now and add just a dash of our salt and pepper, because don't forget the pork is already seasoned. And then to this, I already whisked up my eggs. I beat up a dozen eggs, and I added about a cup of almond milk to this. And now we're going to go ahead and add this to our pan. Okay. And then once we do that, we're going to turn the heat off on the stove. And I'm going to go ahead and add this seasoning that I have. This is just, oh, it's so flavorful. I think it's called a salad topper. I will have to look into that and post a link for it below. And then to that, to top it off, before it goes into the oven, we're going to go ahead and top it with our freshly grated Colby cheese. And I'm going to go ahead and use all of it because this is a fairly big pan. And obviously this will melt everywhere. Okay, once that's done, we're going to go ahead and place this pan in a 350-degree oven. So there you go. I've put it in the oven and we're going to let this bake for at least 30 minutes or until the middle is set and it's nice and bubbly. So here we go. It's been between 30 and 35 minutes, depending on your oven. All oven temperatures vary. It has set up and I just took it out and you can see right here now it's starting to fall. That's okay. Anything made with eggs, souffle style or like this strata, is going to fall after you take it out. There's some crispy bits around the edges and the cheese has all melted. My gang just loves this warm. You can serve it right out of the oven. I like to let it sit for about 5 minutes before I cut into it. And then you can serve it with a side salad, any number of vegetables that you would like. You could even do a little crudité with carrots and celery and some dip, whatever works for you. This is also great if you have any leftovers to heat up the next day for breakfast or a quick brunch. So once you've let the strata sit for about 5 minutes, I just usually cut into it with a spatula. And if you have a really well-seasoned cast iron skillet, you shouldn't have anything stick. There you go. That's what it looks like up close. It's nice and fluffy. You can see everything that's in there, the filling, the cheese on top, the seasonings. It's nice and eggy. And this goes great, like I said, for a dinner, a brunch, or even breakfast. You can make it the day before and serve it the next day. Room temperature, like I said, almost anything works. So let us know in the comments below if you decide to try this and what you think, and I will make sure to have the recipe written out for you. Thanks.